I am calling from Montreal, Canada.
Montreal.
I'm Lebanese. So
may God bless you. May Allah keep you well. Yeah.
You as well, Sheikh Ali.
Thank you, sir.
So since I'm Lebanese, I think this subject is very important for me. So I have a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
I'm on your opinion as well that Wilayat al-Faqih was a disaster for the Shia since its establishment. But I have a couple of questions that always comes up when discussing this with brothers and friends. So, for example, let's start with this. So we had a couple of, let's say, Shia states in the past. Most of them, they're not 12 or Shia state. But one of them was the Safawi state of Shah Ismail. So how do you explain that great scholar like Al-Hur al-Amili and Al-Majlisi were Shaykh al-Islam in those state and didn't oppose the Safavi Sultan to
Safavids never claimed that they have the same position to rule as Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, like Khamenei claims. Safavid were a monarchy. Then their place was known for everyone in history, right? That they came to power by force, by brute force, not through Islamic legitimacy. Not like Khomeini, that he says, I have a right, Khomeini's Wilayat al-Faqih says he has the right to rule all over the world, because he represents God. That is what Khamenei says as well, that he is the rep of God, because he is the deputy to 12 Imam alayhi salam, and 12 Imam alayhi salatu was salam has appointed him as deputy, therefore, and the 12th Imam is the rep of God, representative of God, therefore, he is the representative of God on earth, and he has the divine mandate to rule everywhere, over Moscow, over London, over Montreal, and over Tehran. And his government is the same as the government of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salatu was salam, and his wilayah is the same as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this is a blasphemy. This is an innovation. So this is an affront to Quran and Sunnah and the Imam of Ahlul Bayt alayhim wasalam. The Safavids were not as such. Safavids never claimed that. Safavids, they all knew Safavids were Shia. In the beginning, they were Sufi, and there are some questions whether perhaps they were not even Shia, but later on they became Shia, and they were kings, just like many other kings in those times who came and went. Right? They came to power by the sword, and they ruled by the sword. And anybody who disagreed with them, even if they were good people, they were killed. And if you did not mess with them, they let you live your life alone. And these people, because they were Shia, they respected scholars, and they wanted the scholars to have a say, and in the matters of criminal codes that goes on. If somebody wants to divorce his wife, and there's a dispute on the question of divorce or inheritance, of somebody is accused of stealing something. So they wanted, like many other kings, all kings throughout history in Islamic world, whether Shia kings or non-Shia king, they always relied on ulama and scholars to advise them on legal questions and how to run the legal courts of law. So Shaykh Al-Hur al-Amili, rahimahullah, he was a judge. And this in hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu was-salam, as I recall, I read this many years ago, that is permitted for a scholar, if somebody allows him to be a judge, that he is allowed to rule according to the sayings of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. So there is no inconsistency between what I am saying and the conduct of Hur al-Amili and al-Majlisi. And Majlisi was Shaykh al-Islam. In other words, he's the biggest alim, more respected alim in the Safavid kingdom. That meant if he advised the king what to do, what not to do, and the king respected him and sent gifts to him. And if he advised king on certain issues, sometimes kings would agree, sometimes kings would not listen. But generally, kings respected these scholars tremendously. And that is a good role for scholars to have. If that role, if a scholar could play the role even in the West today, in Canada, if Prime Minister of Canada respects a scholar, she is a scholar. That's not going, perhaps not very feasible today, but one day it might come. respects them and he chooses them as an advisor, it will not be forbidden for him to go and advise the Prime Minister of Canada what to do. Of course, he has to be honest and advise him according to the Shia faith, honestly, and try to explain to him in a way that makes sense to the Prime Minister of Canada. But that would be a very ideal role for any scholar if he could influence the rulers. And that's what Imams alayhim salam wanted from Shia scholars. Not to challenge and defy their rulers, but to present a soft side to them so they could trust them, and then they could, if they wanted to request something from these rulers, they would listen to them. Yeah. And I think those rulers are the best. Those rulers are the best. Rulers who respect religion, who respect faith. Although you will not get a perfect ruler, but you have those rulers who totally despise religion, right? Who are anti-religion, anti-faith. Those are the worst type, that they would persecute you because you're pious and they would not allow you to pray, and those kind of rulers that like you have now in communist China. Very close friend to Khamenei. Masajid are banned. Muslims are forced to eat pig, eat pork, drink. Muslims are forced to drink alcohol, consume alcohol in Chinese Turkestan. So those are the worst. But on the other hand, if you have rulers who give you permission how you want to pray, he says, I don't care how you want to pray. And he respects your religion. And if you make requests from him, and if you're, pressure them, they will listen to you. They would perhaps change their behavior because of you. That is much better. And those are the two choices you have in the absence of the Imam alayhi salam. Yeah. Yes, brother.